Hello everyone, I'm Colin Kinnett. Today I'm going to make another jig for the bandsaw. In this case, I'm going to make a jig for doing smaller logs, just fireplace logs, because I get a few of those from time to time. People give them to me because there's burls and things in them. So I want to set up something that I can cut just small logs on. So I've already got a start on it. Let me show you what I've got. I have a little bit of a base already, and that is basically one of my plastic runners, and I have it already installed on a piece of wood for something else that I was started to make, and then for some reason I abandoned it or changed it. So I still have this, and it slides nicely. Now what I'm going to do is make something that looks very rudimentary. I'll show you what it's going to look like. Something like this. And what's going to happen is this will be able to move back and forth. So I'll cut some slots in here for some bolts to stick through so that I can fasten that down. And on the outside of this over here, if you can see my hand there, on the outside of this, which is where the blade is for the bandsaw, that's where I will be putting the logs, and I'll basically just be putting a couple of screws through, probably 3 or 4 screws from this side, and then be able to run them through the bandsaw like that. I'm going to be using a 1/4-inch bolt and wing nut, but I'm going to use a 3/8 bit and make a little bit wider slot because I want there to be a little bit of play in this. So I'm just going to install that. I've preset the height of the bit. You can see that it's about the 2nd or 3rd ply in there, and I'm going to do a plunge cut, and this is my back and this is my front. So what I'll do is I'll drop my wood onto that bit, then I'll slowly move it across and then lift it off. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and you'll notice that I did this kind of a flip on this rather than turning it around, and the reason is because it's narrower here and wider here, so I need to keep the narrows at the top. Okay, I used the slotted board, and I just marked, I don't know if you can see my mark on there, and I've just used my awl to put a hole in there just to start it, and I'm going to do a pilot hole first of all, and this is where the bolts are going to go through. Now the reason I'm doing a pilot hole is the first thing I need to do is flip this over and use my Forstner bit, because these bolts that I'm going to put through are going to have to be countersunk in there. Okay, now I can drill my through holes. Okay, and while I'm here, I might as well lock these in with some glue and some spritz. So I'm just going to use some super glue that I've got here, and this stuff that I'm using is really runny, so it'll get in there really well. And I'll just put some accelerator on it, and that'll lock it down instantly. There. Okay, that part is done. Now I need to work on the upper part here. Make sure that goes through. Yep, that's going to be just perfect. So I've gone ahead and made some parts here just off camera, and they're pretty simple parts. So I've made some uprights, and that's what they look like, just an angled part. And of course, this is going to be the front of the jig. This is where the wood will attach here. So I need an upright here, and this upright will eventually be inside here. And these, of course, you can see are not fastened down yet. So what I need to do is fasten those down. And I took a moment to already countersink some holes in there, and I need to do the same thing on the back side of this. So I'm just going to take a minute to mark this so that I can drill some holes and countersink them. And then I can attach the two uprights and then the face board. Okay, well, this should go together. There shouldn't be any problems here. Looks like everything should line up. I've already tested all this stuff, so okay, that's good. Now I'm going to put a couple of washers on there, and I've got a couple of wing nuts. There we go. I'll put some wing nuts on there. And we can move that back and forth and move it back and forth that way. All right, well, all we need now is a log to test this out. Well, that concludes my video for today. What a great way of cutting your own lumber on your own bandsaw. A simple jig that I made out of some scrap wood. And it's amazing, just amazing what kind of lumber you can get from that. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.